Everybody seen it because there's a delay.
No, nothing.
Hello and welcome to another
Nothing's on camera.
Piratecast.
Well, we're live. 5.
What's
Okay.
that?
Sorry. It just didn't.
We're live. We're live.
Yeah,
We're live. Please share
we
this
are live here.
out.
Alrighty. I was waiting for the intro, man. Did you not load it up?
Tonight I need to though, but I haven't.
Okay. So that was the next one.
I didn't load it up yet. I don't know if I can load it up in here. I haven't added it.
All right. Had to
So
mute the other screen.
we're back on a Wednesday, on a hump day. Mike's got his he's got a better microphone today. That's awesome. I can hear him.
Salutations
And
from
we're
the CSA
live on
department
Melon
of Skull Island. Thank you for calling
Yes.
Skull Island. We will be here to serve you. Have a nice day.
So who would you like me to connect you to on the remember that? Remember they used to connect the phone lines
Yeah, they did.
Small towns and kids don't have any idea. Yeah. The switchboard. On the switchboard, that's what they call
On the switchboard. And you had to physically switch over the switchboard.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
God, technology's came a long way since then.
Oh jeez, that's
That
only one
shit around in our
generation.
pockets.
That's only one generation back. I mean, that was like my parents or grandparents were doing that stuff, and it's like crap. I mean, I was watching those shows. They were laughing about it when I was a kid, but you still had people that were flipping buttons. I worked
because we're old,
CSA,
bro.
and so you know the switchovers and everything else are electronic nowadays, but it's still the same thing. It's just done by a machine instead of actually people pushing plugs and that sort of stuff. How much of that can actually that gets one of my points is the level of automation that we are going to see.
Denise used to work on a switchboard.
Exactly. Those are they can be complicated depending on what you're working on. I was working as I started off as CSA, and then I got bumped up to technical analyst and shit because I kept seeing problems whenever people called in, and I started telling technical support, hey, look in this area because you might have a problem. Look in that area, you might have a problem, because I recognized the area codes of the phone numbers that were calling in with problems. So yeah, I got into that. We were renting space on 3 different networks, and I had to try and analyze where the problems were. The switching was automatic, but it was chaotic because they had to organize through 4 different networks, and so it could get tricky at times. You guys are frozen on my screen, but I was able to hear you for an instant. What's up? I guess it's the Mike and Mike, the operator Mike show. Hi, how you doing? Call in, and we'll see where we go from.
Hope this works.
Sorry, guys.
I had to switch to data because the Wi-Fi signal is really touchy out here, so I wasn't hearing you. You were cutting through, so go ahead, man.
No, I noticed that you guys were frozen as well, and so I took on. I was just blathering on for a little while about 4 different networks working together and trying to do switchboard electronically. It takes a lot of.
Yeah, you're over on the switchboard.
We're still on the switchboard. I didn't get past that very far, but we're there.
Yep.
Well, it's all just new. It's all the same technology, just used differently, right? So, I mean.
Well, and that automation, like you were talking about, I think we can make it work for us, but we shouldn't become slaves of it, and we shouldn't ever let anybody tell us, "Hey, you're not worthy anymore," because we are still human. The human spirit is still better than a computer.
Well, the ones running all that stuff do consider us slaves now, and so they prefer robotic slaves to human slaves because human slaves give them less trouble, and so they're rapidly switching us over. And soon, if you look at the viceroy or whatever of the world, that economic thing, the forum thing, he was talking about all these useless people and what we're going to do with all these useless people. And so their idea, whenever you own nothing and you'll be happy, is for people to basically Get everybody high and playing video games, and then they'll just keep them in these. It's like Hello Player One, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all the stuff happening in the world today. I mean, you can kind of be able to look at it, and if you're a reasonable person, and you do your research and you look through history, you can see the way they've laid everything out. They want us in a panic. They want us to be worried about this thing, not that thing. They want, you know what I mean? And because we are all, most of us, a lot of us are in that survival mode, right? Especially when we're in cities and in places where we're dependent on jobs, etc. We're in that survive mode most of the time, right? There's some of us, but not many of us, that just get to sit back and say, hey, I've got enough, I ain't worried, right? So you look back, you see how it all aligns, and when you can see that, even though it can still be hard to take that breath, it gives you that sigh of, okay, this is planned, and if I allow it to get to me, it can be something. If I do not,
well, and you get a lot of talk.
Okay,
and you get a lot of talk, and I want to bring this up again. I brought it up before, maybe not on the show, but there's a lot of talk around the spiritual community of two timelines dividing. Well, that's kind of what's happening with the parallel society. We're not literally going to a different place. We are, but we're not physically. We are just in a different place in our perspective and mentally and in our heart. So we're not, like I said before, automation can be like everything else. It can make us or break us, and it can be used for both.
It depends on
good and bad.
It depends on who's creating the automation.
Right, and who's behind, who's got the levers of who's got the controls.
Right.
Yeah, well,
who's at the wheel?
And do they want our benefit? No.
Yeah.
The guys that are in control don't want our benefit, and they're the ones that are pushing all this. And the leaders of AI now, recognized by our own military, are the Chinese. And we know that the Chinese are really hunky-dory on human rights, right? Especially in Shanghai.
Yeah, they're pretty nuts right now. But it's really what it is, what it comes down to is the only thing we can call it is class. It's a class war. It's not, has nothing to do with ideologies. This is about an ideology of people wanting to live and wanting to thrive, that were born here. And then there's people that were born here and think that they deserve everything, and that anybody that has less than them is less than them.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to. Whether it's communism or capitalism or, it doesn't matter. Whoever's, like we said, whoever's at the levers of power, they always become corrupted. They always end up, doesn't matter what ideology they come from. And yes, there is a definite kind of Leninism vibe, definitely coming from the Democrats or that one side.
But if you notice,
both of them, I mean, even like right now, the conservatives, there's more conservatives speaking up than there is, that actually want to fight for some kind of freedom than the Democrats. The Democrats seem to want to do the opposite. But
if
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they all want the same things when it comes down to it. Now, there's a few good people, of course. There's going to be people speaking out, but it really comes down to us going, I'm done playing this fucking game. Like, I'm going to live free, but not because you granted it to me in any kind of paperwork or anything signed. It's already my right. You know what I mean? That's already, even like the Constitution. The Constitution can be messed with. They've done it, legally many times. It's really an idea. It's saying, you know what? These are my innate laws, which we knew of these before, thousands or eons and eons ago. This is innate within us. We are born this way. We are born free. And we choose to allow others to control us, for the most part. Now, when you're a kid,
when we're a child and we're being raised, different. We are definitely influenced, right?
But we still have that thought or that instinct of freedom.
Many of us have that innate, like, that's why we kind of fight.
Or fight or flight. Fight or flight.
Yeah, right.
There's a difference at the other end of the...
Right. But we all have that innate, like, desire to exist, and we always... I mean, at least many kids. Not every child does, actually, but many will go, well, why do you get to tell me what I can and can't do? You know what I mean? Like, and you understand the role, but you still kind of have that thought of, wait, what? Especially when you have hypocritical parents. You know what I mean? You're like, well, wait, what? Right? And when you have that question within you, you have that desire for freedom, and you want that, like, you can use that small thing inside of you to really dig deep and start to understand and build that inner peace, that inner desire for freedom, that inner, and you know what? Some people truly don't want that freedom. They are truly, truly comfortable where they are. They'd rather have someone else have the responsibility. They do not want to take accountability. They don't want to look at it. They don't want it. And you know what? Okay, you don't have to. I mean, no one's forcing you to do that right now, besides the universe. And that's the joy of the free will, right? We get to choose that stuff. So a lot of people feel like, well, I just don't have a choice. We always have a choice. Even in the hardest of circumstances, we always have a choice.
Yep, we do.
It's whether or not we choose to see them and take them.
Mike is being very quiet right now.
Yes.
Oh, shit, you're muted, dude. You're muted. Is that me muting him? I don't think so. No, you're good on my end.
Did you turn volume all the way down there?
What for? What?
No, okay.
No, hold on. Let me kick you out and bring you back in. All right, sorry guys, we're just having a little technical difficulty for some reason here. I lost my volume earlier today too, on Facebook. Giving readings, I lost my volume. I still can't hear you. You might want to jump out and come back in.
Darn it. Hopefully we're still playing.
Anyway, to continue, one of my buddies might be coming on. Well, he's like a online buddy. He does some pretty cool stuff. Pretty loud. He's
a shaman poet.
He's a shaman poet. Started out as a shaman poet. That's right. Maybe he'll read some poetry for us today. But let's see if he even shows up. Hey man, this is the link to our live show we're on right now. If you want to jump in.
Please forgive.
Forgive for what?
I said we have been having some technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, it's been kind of a weird day today.
Well, Neptune's like in conjunct with Mars, right? Like,
that's a real weird.
There's some really like energies happening,
The illusion of war or the illusion of conflict.
Yes.
Like Mars using that illusionary kind of feeling from Neptune as they kind of conjunct. They're kind of it's a real conflicting type of energy. See if he comes back in. It takes a minute.
As long as you flow with it, right, and you kind of understand that, it's a time for, inner work, right? If you just don't feel it, don't worry about it. Take that time to reflect on yourself. Take that time to just be. Because so many of us have forgotten what it is to just be. That I get that question a lot. What do you mean be? Be what?
Yeah.
So,
come on, keep it going, baby. You got the lead right now. Take it.
Get the lead. Take it. Well, no, okay. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Wait.
Wait. Okay, I'm going to share this in comments, the link. If anybody wants to join us.
Right, just hop on.
Wait, I wonder if I can.
Chat.
Can I chat?
Shoot.
Private chat. No, that's private chat. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out.
We're trying, guys. We're trying. It's new software.
I'm trying to send a link out so
I know.
anybody
like
wants
I said,
to join
it's new software we're using right now.
There you go. He's back. I got it now. I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds better.
All right. That'll work.
Yeah, I think I screwed this up when I had to change to data.
I don't know. It might have been before that, but one of the things that was getting me, I think I hit the cable or something like that. But anyway, we're all good to go now. So that's all.
So anyway, we were at Anarchy.
Like on the for reals.
Yo ho ho.
Not the chaos they feed you, right? Like the real, actual, like no one has.
We're going to do our own thing anyway, whether they like it or not. And that's what's going on. The perception of how they're kind of winning, there is not even a winning perception. With all the propaganda they're throwing out, it's so transparent now. Like it's just, they make themselves, they're getting mad. It's like a mad little child are mad little children that aren't winning and have to just keep going and get nasty about it. And that's what's going on. And the thing is, we are winning. I feel we are.
Right.
Just that consciousness battle.
Allison, you got a poem? Let's see.
There once was a man from Nantucket. They never start off well like that.
No. Allison was an old sailor in her fucking past life.
Funny.
Yeah, well, that's...
Sure, you were on one of the same ships. Took me a while to watch my mouth, and I still don't. Well...
So what's been going on this week, man? What did you do this week?
Well, this week I've been... See, last week I was actually filling up dumpsters of broken tiles and shit around a house that's being reformed. And this week I was actually fixing some drainage plumbing and building a box out of brick and mortar for plumbing inspection box, that sort of thing, or collection box and that sort of stuff. And so tomorrow and day after, I'll be closing up those holes for drainage and everything else for the house. And then we go on to the next project in the repair and getting it up to snuff. It wasn't abandoned. It was rented out. And nobody paid attention for 7 years. So lots of shit happens to a house when people don't pay attention. They did all kinds of gerrymandering with the water and everything else in the house. So we got to fix all that stuff little by little. So it's all good. I got my tomography today and that sort of stuff. So yeah, focusing on a new chapter because the old one is going to have to close out. Evidently my glycerin or like glucose levels are too high, and so I have to cut back on my beer as well, so and carbs and all that kind of stuff, so I don't become a diabetic. So yeah, all the fun stuff is bye-bye. So I'm just getting adjusted to new realities as we go. It's part of being old, I guess.
It's more, not all the fun stuff is bye-bye. It's how you perceive the fun stuff and what fun stuff in which you can now partake, right? Now that you can no longer do what you're accustomed to, that leaves you room to grow and expand on what will work for you to bring you to a place that you feel better and you enjoy and you like, and you don't feel like you're giving anything up, right?
Yeah, but my entire identity was built up around those things. I mean, I identified as a smoker. I drank my ass off because I like to drink beer. And it was part of, it was the serotonin rush and all that kind of stuff. It makes you feel good and that sort of stuff. And so you focus
fucking on all around. Y'all going to fucking AA and I'm not. I feel like a dirty fucking soul.
No, but No, because the people. If
you're making a health choice, bro. It's nothing.
No, and that's
that.
But I mean, it's just about switching it up and knowing that you have there's so many other things that maybe you haven't tried yet that can bring you to that euphoric state. Euphoric, whatever.
Urethra.
Huh?
You said urethra.
I might have.
You said it. Urethra, like with ebonics. Urethra.
Euphoric.
It was her urethra. Had some problem in there. Doctor told her she had to go get her urethra checked out.
All right. That will give you that euphoric sensation, right? That you already thought you knew, that can bring you to that place as well. That's not it, and will have the proper balance that your body needs.
Yep.
Well, one of the things that, for example, like I said, I identify as a smoker. But they said, that after 10 years, you'll be back to the levels of a non-smoker. And the doctor told me, yeah, that's for your statistical probability of getting cancer. Your lung capacity, once it's gone, it's gone. You won't be getting that back. And going, fuck. And so I'm walking around and that sort of stuff. And I'm taking a deep breath and enjoying the fact that I can take a deep breath. And then I look at that cigarette going, do I want to take less of a deep breath? Really? So the cigarette starts taking on a whole nother psychological demeanor. It's not, it's another stimulation, and all this kind of stuff. Like the doctor was saying, you've been laughing with the cigarette. The cigarette hasn't been laughing with you. It's been doing its job, busy fucking killing your ass.
It stimulates.
So moderation is something that my great grandmother used to tell me about all the time. This coming from a lady who, if you asked her if she had to go to the bathroom, she would look at her watch. If you asked her if she was hungry, she would look at her watch. Because everything was on a schedule. She had two bananas in the morning. She had, Cheerios with orange juice at night because she was lactose intolerant. And so there were these things that I had to get used to living with at that point, 72-year-old lady. She died at 93. So yeah, it was a good run.
Pretty good.
Yep. And it really is. It's your perception and knowing how to work with your body. If your body can no longer sustain that particular habit, then obviously, yeah, you got to switch it up. I've always been one, and trust me, I identify as a smoker as well. And I've taken these looks years back, and I haven't quit smoking, mind you, but I have taken these looks at myself many times because of that. See, I drink Dr. Pepper from morning until night, from the time I was like 12 until I was 30-something, right? And so maybe I didn't identify necessarily as a drinker, but that was my drink. There was no way I could ever stop drinking my drink.
Oh, I'm a Pepper fan, definitely.
But one day, because those dark sodas really were fucking with my guts.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a minute, but I had to find
your urethra.
My urethra. They were messing with my guts, and I.
Playing out in my head. Shit.
So I had to make a change, and it took a little bit. But really, once I found this other drink that I kind of liked, it was such an easy transfer, right? And here's the thing. Here's the big kicker about this drink. It also eliminated the caffeine. I wasn't necessarily trying to find a substitute. But here I found this drink that, here's a taste. I like this. This is refreshing. This is nice.
I'm sharing this out, so everybody out there should be sharing too. All four of you.
Drinking that dark soda, right? And
please.
Smoking, there's days where I just don't feel like it. And I'll smoke 2-3 cigarettes. Other days, I'll smoke a whole pack, right? I allow myself to kind of work with myself. And granted, unhealthy habits are pretty much just unhealthy when you're using them habitually. Moderation truly is key. But when you listen to yourself, you really understand and you know what's going on. You don't have to go and say, okay, no more, I can't have this anymore. Bad child, You can just go, you know what? That ain't working. Hey, let's see if we can find something that will. Right? You could just kind of easily switch yourself into that, I don't have to stop or give up anything. I am choosing today to do what my body's asking me to do.
That would be nice. I usually said, fuck my body. My body's there to follow my mindset. I'd play football and I'd run, and I said, all right, body, I want to run over there. I want to kick that ball. I want to kick that guy's ass, and I want to, run over that goal line. And my body basically did it. So if my body told me it was hungry, yeah, I'd sit down and eat. I wouldn't look at a schedule or time or anything else. And if I was hungry, I'd eat however much I wanted to eat. I also, sometimes I'll exaggerate. The other day, the end of last week, I was digging a lot and everything else, and I ended up getting about 2.5, almost 3 pounds worth of food on my plate. But I ate it all. It was that might have been before the exam. Maybe that's why they got my high glucose.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, you never know. It might have been an event.
Let me roll up on all this shit and go get tested.
Right.
Oh, no, but
I mean, really though, dude, you say that, but actually, it might have been, dude.
Yeah, I know. And I also.
But what you're doing is making a conscious choice to say, "Hey, I want to feel better. I want to breathe better. I don't want to fucking get diabetes. So I'm gonna cut back on these things." And that's fucking awesome, dude. That's admirable.
Exactly.
Me, on the other hand, I haven't hit that wall yet.
I mean, I partake.
I got the strongest liver in the universe, bro, and. Diabetes? No, it's not good. No.
I had the strongest fucking lungs. I mean, I was born in Mexico City, which the altitude is a motherfucker. So my lungs developed really fucking strong from a very early age. So the last thing I thought I was going to have a problem with were my lungs. I played football. I played tennis. I played basketball. I played soccer. I mean, I ran my ass off my whole fucking life. So I never thought I'd have a problem with my lungs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude, it's smoking. I mean, you're putting something in your lungs.
Right.
But if you fucking stop for long enough, you are going to fucking, it is going to clear. A lot of it's going to clear out.
Just talk to your lungs. Talk to them.
I mean, your lungs are a sponge.
Speak to them. They'll clean out a little bit.
I think next week or in the beginning of next month, because they're all about the same thing. I'm going
Yeah,
to this lady tea lady that we I first heard about whenever I got down here 20 plus years ago, and I thought it was
yeah,
just bizarre. She would put that, well, back then, people thought about Reiki, and I thought Reiki was fucking nuts, and now I understand it a lot more and actually
Right.
want to learn things. I thought that, the water, the float ice, the stuff that they put, the concentrate into water and they just dilute it at 100,000
yeah.
times. Um, and it has the opposite effect. Um, I didn't believe any of that crap when I first got here, but 20 years of researching and getting into it and finding out how it works and everything else, it gets a lot different. So this lady who, when I first got here, I thought she was nuts because one of the first things she said was, you got to cleanse your body and stop eating meats and that sort of stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to go vegetarian for a week? Are you fucking insane? I don't do that shit.
Right.
But
Stop
you had to
eating
cleanse your
meats.
body and then take these teas. And the different combination of teas that she gave you was dependent on what she felt from your body's needs. For example, I love
Right.
Yeah,
artichokes. I used to eat them, and when she was tapping through, because she's got this little um, metallic rod that she puts on parts of your body, right? And your spirit inside you communicates with the spirit inside her and
Right.
tells her what it's seeing inside your body. I was like, what the hell is all that hooey? My spirit talking to your spirit? What? Everybody's demon. But she's a Christian, and so I don't know what's going on there. But hey, you roll with it and find out where she's at. Well, she found out a lot of stuff that I knew I had, but I hadn't told anybody. Oh, your liver needs this and this, and that sort of thing. So it was my body talking to the spirit
Yep.
that was trying to figure out what was
right.
going on. And the teas that she gave me were for that. I go to my doctor this morning. I tell him, I've got the eucalyptus oil, which now I need to find out where I put it, which helps. And then I've got my guaco tea and my asapecha tea, which are supposed to be good for cleansing out the lungs. And the doctor tells me none of that'll help. And I'm like,
Watch.
hey,
Just
you
watch.
old fuckwad.
Just watch.
Yeah, but he's one of these old guys who still thinks that masks work. So I went in there the first time.
Right. See, and
Oh,
it's
I
crazy to
mean,
me that
that's
any of our
yeah.
medical professionals truly believe that. It really is so
Well, no,
mind-boggling.
they've got a boss. They've got a.
And I know, but that they believe
They've
that
got to
though.
follow
It's,
that,
it's
or they
fucking
get fired.
crazy.
They lose their license, and I
no,
get it.
no,
I
you
mean,
could
I get
actually,
it.
I could actually see in this guy's eyes he
No,
believed
that
that
he
shit so
actually
hard.
believes it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
sometimes that is
that's mind-boggling to me because
because
But
it doesn't matter who you are, dude. It doesn't matter if you're
yeah,
a doctor, if you're a
right,
professional.
right,
I think they were
right.
showing when they were showing all the people that actually believed in like the boop boop. Um, they
They
did a study. I think we talked about it before, where um, most of the people that didn't want to take it were people that had master's degrees or doctorates. So
yep.
people that had master's degrees took it, but a lot of them from the master's degrees, but for some reason the doctorates and people that were like entrepreneurs that never went to college that actually went out and did it on their own because they had more of a free thought. I think doctorate level is probably opening. Actually, as you learn so much, you start to open your mind to a lot more. And yeah, there are even doctors that'll still buy into it
Well, because
and
ultimately they
fucking
were
push
taught a
it,
curriculum as well.
just like what was that doctor's name or a couple of those doctors' names in Nazi Germany? That's what
Oh,
they are. Those
Mengele.
Goebbels,
Dr. Mengele.
Mangala,
No, Mengele was the doctor. But that's
Mangala. Yeah.
Mr. N and the T and the Oni and his last name is Italian. It's something like a Fau and there's a Chi over there at the end.
Oh, you mean doesn't that?
Kind of
Yeah,
like
I
yeah.
think
Don't
that
say that
means. I
fucking word
think that
because
means the
that
Fauci.
little
Doesn't that mean the jaw in,
that
in
that
Italian?
little maggot needs to go to
Little
Gitmo.
jaw.
I don't want his name
He's a
actually
fucking.
mentioned.
Unfortunately, none of these motherfuckers are going to Gitmo. That's the problem. That's why we
Yeah.
create our own shit. We don't worry about that because enough dealing with. It's like us getting into high school drama
Yep.
that is like so psychotic, and they're all on cocaine and they're fucking out of their minds, and we're like at this party going, these people are not our people, man. I don't vibe with all this craziness, this psychotic fucking craziness, and we want to leave, and we can walk away. We can just
That's
live our
right.
lives like
Yeah.
we do, but we can even move further and further away from it.
See, I
But
tried
the
I
more
tried to
awkward
do
we
that
get,
because I felt the system coming in and constricting the military, the police state I mean,
Yeah.
I remember when I had long hair when I was in junior high, and it was 8 o'clock in the morning, but school started at 8:30, and so my buddy hadn't shown we were going to skip class, and so I decided to leave anyway. Well, the cop just as soon as I got off school property, cop comes up behind me, boom, and I'm like, I forgot my biology and my chemistry books. I was going home. I still got time to go home, grab my books, and bring them back. No, sir. Once you step on school property, you're not allowed to. Boom. I was in the principal's office and in school suspension before class even started for skipping nothing.
A class you didn't skip, right? And that's the thing, though, is the school districts, the way they have it all set up. It's a control thing. We're still doing the reform schools. Okay, it's just called public school, and they'll have us pretend that it's for your children's better good, but they're teaching them this basic curriculum that helps them to go get a job, not how to live life, not how to.
They don't want to teach you how to get a job. They want to teach you to be a good indentured servant.
Yes,
that's right.
Go get that job, not your career. Don't think for yourself. There's jobs out there, and we're going to create jobs for you. We need you to go get a job, and that's all they teach you. Go get a job.
Gotta learn
they teach you how to work 9 to 5s, and yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the whole thing, is we let too many people tell us what we should be doing or dictate that. And that's why when the last couple of years, you've seen it, people just run right in lockstep with it. Oh God, well, that's the word of God, so we should do that.
You just mentioned the word lockstep. It's all pre-programmed and everything else by the ones that want everyone to kneel and bow to their.
And you see these same people, these same families, these same connections all throughout history. Yep. It's not even just this time. Go ahead, do some
thousands of years.
You know?
However, I want to address this. There's been something about NASA and the CIA and the different intelligence agencies trying to figure out how much they're going to tell about. That's all smokescreen.
It's all bullshit, bro. It is, but don't.
It's all smoke.
Do you think you're going to get the best information from the CIA, dude? Really?
They've known about everything else. They're just trying to say, "Whoa, people are looking. Where's 2,000 Mules?
Yes.
And oh my God, and there's Hunter Laptop, and oh shit, and they're looking on Twitter is only bots, only fucking shit."
That's right, man. That's right.
UFOs, man. UFOs, aliens are here. Hey, let's get to beer and peanuts. Yeah. Go over there and go look at the UFOs. They've already been here. They're the ones controlling those maggots in the top of government. Because the UFOs are actually it's interdimensional, but that's a whole nother story.
Yes.
But that's just a distraction right now. They might actually be testing the. I thought it was going to be blue beam, but evidently their technology's gone well beyond blue beam. I
think our technology is well beyond what any of us realize, but I think even the highest levels of government don't even fucking know what's going on, because a lot of this is. I think they know a lot. I think they have a lot, and I think that there's and that's the thing. They were actually somebody was speaking yesterday because of all this shit. They're trying to make a law, or they're talking about the concern of the citizen or the average citizen getting pictures or getting footage. Now, did you hear that yesterday? Yeah, there was actually a senator in there, blowing shit out of his ass, basically, talking and talking about how it's dangerous to let civilians share footage.
Oh God, we can't allow people to talk to each other. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We can't allow other people to see higher dimensional beings, which would actually help them ascend in their mind and their perception, and realize, holy shit, life is a lot cooler than I thought.
They just want to be able to control what people take a picture of and share.
Yes.
Yeah.
They want control. Yes.
They're using the excuse of the aliens, but they just don't want people taking pictures of shit. I mean, remember, in 2001, you had the Federal Bureau of something or other that went through every business on that street and confiscated all their video footage of something that went through and ended up, there's this big building with 5 sides and stuff. So all the videos concerning that were confiscated, and we don't know to this day. Supposedly it was a plane, but there are no wreckage parts or anything else. It might have been an explosion, might have been something guided like SMART or something, but we don't know because all the pictures and videos were confiscated.
Yeah.
Right.
People
Well, the best thing to do, like Jen was saying, Gilly, she was saying that's crazy. People aren't going to listen to that crap. We will find a way around that shit. Yeah, I mean, really, because we've already been doing it. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Like, the world didn't just okay.
Believing.
These are psyops, and there are psyops coming at us from like every angle. We got the Amber Heard. I mean, that's not exactly a psyop. Maybe it is, but I think it's more of just a smoke screen
distraction
that they're using. The Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing.
Yeah,
that's all over. That's taken over on social media.
It's
fucking who cares? And then we have Ukraine. Then we have the C word. Then we have, and there's going to be more. There will be. Now we have aliens. Now we have, we need to get more money so we can build more war machines in space.
Because oh my god,
which if we, what's funny is they think that they, and that's good. We should have defense. But they don't fucking stand a chance against weapons of fifth dimensional beings.
Give me a fucking break.
They have, and you've seen it on footage. Like there's footage you've seen that those jets keep us where they want. Those other ships that they're trying to chase, they can't even touch them. They can't touch their maneuverability. They can't touch their speed. They're eons ahead of us. And that's what that's why that's how they're handling everything. It's like, we don't know much about it, but we're going to do it anyway. Like, let's get into this. This could hurt a lot of people, but who cares?
Oh, it could bring me some money. Oh, this consequence could happen. Hang on. That consequence will bring me this money. Oh, but if that happens, it'll bring me some money. It's all money.
It goes beyond that because these people have more money than,
they want control.
No, it's the control. It is the control. But they are maneuvering and working within the United States on a way that brings them.
It's called manipulation. It's called the problem reaction solution.
Yes.
They want a solution. They got something that they want. It's like the thing in Buffalo. They already have paperwork that they want.
Same thing. Another side.
And take away our second right that we have constitutionally. And so this guy is contracted out there to spew all kinds of funky bullshit,
right?
And does things that go, oh, look at there, we need to sign this bill that has been sitting here gathering dust for 20 fucking years because it's worthless and controlling piece of garbage. But that thing over there happened. Now, why did that happen? Because they're trying to pass this bill. So why was it whenever people want to force shit down our throat, we always have lots of funky shit happening that shouldn't necessarily be happening? And whenever we actually had somebody who was like, let's get things done, let's do what needs to get done, like building things that are done on, like borders to make sure that countries are integral and safe. Well, we didn't have any of those funky little situations going on because nobody was trying to manipulate the population into ceding their rights and
all those big money men decided they needed to go make more money, and it was more profitable for them if they had people feuding, whether it was on gossip, race, whether it was on big business running through, whether it was taking it doesn't matter how big or small,
everybody
utilizing.
And it's also like the Supreme Court thing. It's not even a decision yet. They were just notes on what some of them were thinking about. And it was illegal that they leaked that. And so somebody needs to go to jail for that. However, it was leaked for a reason because they needed a distraction from all the other garbage going on because that was like 3 days before 2000 Mules came out on May 5th. So, and it's also a divide because, oh, no, we need to have our rights. You still have those rights. Vote for your state to do whatever.
I don't even think we needed to have this mule story, really, to tell you the truth. That whole mule story, we didn't even need that. Like, we saw it right in front of our eyes. We saw the cheating. We saw the cheating, dude.
We felt it. We knew it.
Like, they just changed the number, dude. They just went, like, on a board. They erased this and said, okay, this is how it's going to go. They are not elected. They're selected. Like, they're really, I'm sorry, there's no voting to get that. And even on local governments sometimes, even if you have a local government, yes, if you have enough people and you get your community together, they will get scared shitless if you're face to face with them. They will change some things. But it's always fucking incremental, dude. Yeah. Or it's always something that there's some weird shit they're trying to put in, and then you speak up and you get enough people, and they shut it down or they stop. Okay, maybe that wasn't a good idea because they're trying to sneak through some bullshit.
Utah's weed laws, for example, just
cannabis
laws.
To be correct.
To be correct. Yes. Okay. So Utah's cannabis laws, just to yes, there was enough people that finally said, "Fuck you, dude. This is fucking medicine. We want it here," and they got it, and they got it passed in a certain way, and yet, still, the church, the leaders, whatever it was able to just take what we had approved that made it through, chop it up and dice it up and say
Watch
it's
out, you're
this.
gonna poke me in the eye.
You know what I mean?
Just relax.
And present it to
I got
us
two
like
fucking
that's what we wanted.
two dramatic people on right now.
I know.
You and Mike, dude. I'm fucking done. I'm so done. I'm just kidding.
But no, they do. They will take keywords that you've said, make you feel like you're still getting. No, we still gave you what
That's
you
called
want.
gaslighting.
But
you're talking about throwing crumbs. Yeah, throwing crumbs. Yeah, they'll throw you a crumb here. Hey, look, they'll be happy.
No,
so
this is what you
they'll
wanted.
let us get away with all this other bullshit.
Well,
but yeah, really, when you start thinking about it,
we all know that we need infrastructure because we can see the buildings and highways built in the 1930s, nearly a century ago, need to have.
Have they even fixed the water in Flint, Michigan yet? Have they fixed that yet?
I don't think they have, but that doesn't matter.
No, I don't think they have.
Passed the bill and they got their money.
Same thing.
So that's what matters. And so out of this $1.3 trillion bill for infrastructure, there's like $300 million for infrastructure. And the rest goes to all their little pet projects, and it's just a title that said, "Oh, let's vote for infrastructure," while they're shipping money to every little thing. And
they just use that word just to get more money and milk more money, so they can use whatever they're using.
I had this conversation with the census last year.
The census?
Yeah, the census person. I had wasn't it last year or was it 2 years ago?
No, it was supposed to be in 2020, but it was done in 2021 because we were locked
up.
Right. See, and when they kept coming to me and we were kind of vague on our answers and like whatever, like I find like what? Okay, wait. You tell me that this is the money that you're doing all of this for. This is why you need to know how many people exactly and all of this personal shit, so that you can get some funding to fix these things that we've been fixing for 50 fucking years. For real. You're still doing these things because we need funding. So that told me right there, Utah, at least, is willing to do whatever they got to do to get whatever money they want and need to do whatever they're going to do. It doesn't go to our roads. It doesn't go to our schools. It doesn't go to those things. Those are things they want us to believe. But look at how our school systems are failing. Look how and I'm not there anymore. I guess I shouldn't say our, but look at it through history. Look at how it's worked. Those things that are crumbling are still crumbling or gone. Nothing has gone to what it's supposed to. They will do road work for 20 years on one
on the same road, dude.
Are you fucking shitting me?
Okay.
That's creating jobs.
Calm down. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Damn.
No, but really,
I'm never taking her in a court of law with me. No fucking way.
No,
you are not speaking on my behalf, dude.
No, she needs to have a gag order in one of those.
She'll be getting I'll be getting a lot of trouble.
Shit will come out of that mouth to where everybody's going down before you get out of that.
She has no problem expressing herself.
And this is probably why I've gotten in trouble a few times that I didn't deserve it.
Really? No, I wouldn't.
I talk about that. But really though, let's use our common sense here. How the does this make any freaking sense? Are you really going to tell me this is actually the issue, or are you just fucking with me because you know I can't fight you back, and you're going to get a little extra money if I'm this problem?
No, yeah, if you have a problem, then you can, and that's what they do. Like
they
you just
create
said,
people that are
the problem reaction solution. Yes. What is it right now? Mm-hmm. Oh, after the shooting, it was guns. Yep. Let's fucking go after guns, because it always is after a shooting, right? Isn't that what they always do? And it's like the same fucking play over and over again. Like, change the fucking record, dude. At least come up with a better strategy, because your shit's weak and it never works. Well, they tried to.
It's just taking away the A-16.
I think the last law that was enacted against guns was actually the bump stock, right? Wasn't that the last thing they made legal or illegal?
Well, I think. Yeah, something like that. There were some modifications to the weaponry.
Yeah, the bump stock. It's like it's stupid.
It
was stupid.
Look scary, and so they needed to take it off so it doesn't look as scary. You've got another one that you can paint it pink and everything else, and it'll be fine. It'll pop out little capsules of unicorn sprinkles every time it fires, and you go, oh, it's a friendly little gun. So it's bizarre what they do, and they just try to take it little by little. And
it's contradictory. It's bullshit. It's a system fighting for the system, not fighting for the people. Look at it.
Look at it. Look at it. I'm giving her shit. I like teasing, dude. I'm sorry.
Seriously though,
it's out of love. It's not to be mean.
Let's take a look at it. A policeman has had a very hard day. He's come across some serious fucking predators. He's on edge. Wow. And now he's called into another serious call. But really, all he's coming into is a little domestic dispute where this man has also worked all day. He's been on edge. He's fucked up, right?
Yeah, it's that cycle that it's that systematic.
We're going to defend one person because of their role, and not the other because of their role.
What are you talking? Where are you at right now? Are we still on guns?
I'm utilizing. Kind of. No, okay, I'm saying. I'm talking about the way we see things and the way we position and why we make one thing okay when it's happening everywhere, right? It's okay that this is happening because of, a policeman's shooting a person is okay because that person was stressed and he didn't know, and oh my God, he thought his life was in danger. But the person that shot the cop also thought his life was in danger. And automatically, he's a bad guy, right?
And that's really the point.
Hold on. Both people, if you pull the trigger, you're a bad person, and you end up being under suspension, supervision, investigation, or whatever. Why? Because he did something stupid, and people got to figure out what's going on. Now, do you have a bunch of buddies that are going to cover your ass? That's a whole nother story. Or are you out there swinging in the wind because you're just somebody without a team?
Dude, did we just get into a Black Lives Matter conversation, bro?
No, I
guess there.
But there's validity to it. There is validity to it. Yes. It's just not something you want to. You don't pit white against white.
Well, hold on. Well, that's what they want. But there was this guy who was actually fired from Reuters last week. He was a statistical analyst.
Hey, man, you need to quit smoking, dude.
And he actually found out that the probability of a cop shooting a white person is much, much higher. Even due to all the different things and larger interaction and everything else, it was a figment of everybody's fucking imagination. Why? Because it's a straw man argument. They're creating something for people to be pissed about.
What are they? What are the straw man arguments? Everybody in comment. I'd like everybody to put those straw man arguments. If you know what a straw man argument is, give me a topic that they like to argue over, or they like to have us binarily argue over, which there's so many more aspects of it. But they put it in this or that. Yep. You know, they put it in those. There's no other area of thought. It's just this or this. You should be really bad. They want you on two opposite ends of the ball. Right. They don't want you in the middle at all. Thinking.
Each other. Yeah. So you're always playing and fighting each other.
Yep. Yeah, Mike, we have some good fucking shows, dude. Look at that. Rolling, bro. I like it.
Right? But no, that's just it. And I only brought certain titles.
We can get her to stop break it in.
Oh, whatever, dude.
Go ahead, talk. No, finish. I'm just teasing.
It's because too many of us truly do identify with those titles.
Yes.
Whether it be police, male, female,
titles or feelings,
and that's just when you can separate yourself from all of that. And surely just dig deep into your soul.
Hold on. If we can separate ourselves from that. Now, we've got a situation right here in chat where we got somebody in Chicago, and so he can't exactly move away from Chicago because that's where he lives and that's where he works.
Right.
But they have been influenced by all of these policies to where
Chicago's terrible, dude.
You'll reduce the police coverage because police are bad. Well, guess what happens when you reduce the police? Crime goes up. Wow.
Well, you don't want to reduce it. You don't want to reduce police coverage. However, you don't want to reduce it. However, you don't want it to be as much of an active force in just kind of going out and being the offensive.
Community members keeping out, looking out for the community.
I was a 14-year-old kid getting arrested by a cop before class for skipping school. That is the excess that, I believe. Yes, cops are necessary, but you
The
know
police state, right? That's what
the police thing is what
because
kills
there
me.
is a middle, dude.
Someone has
There's
given them authority.
But see, the
there
thing
is
is,
a middle ground, though. That's what I
they
was just
forgot that
talking
it's
about.
about protect and serve. It's about protect and serve. They don't serve and they don't protect.
Yes.
Last year we had a guy who actually had to stop a knife man in the subway in New York. When he finally got the knife man under control and he was already stabbed 2 or 3 times, well, the police show up to take over the situation. There's another camera that shows you from the subway. The cops were hiding behind a fucking wall for 5 minutes while the guy was getting stabbed. When he finally did it, then they came out with they're not there to protect you.
Let's decide how we're going to do this, guys.
They could give a shit about you. But they'll say something different. Oh, because everybody's got that. Oh, but I know somebody. He's a nice guy. You know, he's one of the good ones. Fine, sure. But the policies that they need to protect and interact are not necessarily the good ones. And they got to follow their commander. You know, like there are some places that keep saying, hey, you know what? We need more money for the city. So look, each one of you guys has to have a ticket, 5 tickets a week. By the end of the month, you need to catch your quota. And if you don't get your quota of tickets, well, then you won't be able to drive the car. Well, that's the same thing they did in Mexico. You have to hold your quota. You have to.
There we go. Sorry, we got cut off.
Oops.
No worries.
Got a little too passionate up in here.
You have to keep up your quota of fines and everything else. Otherwise, you don't have the benefits from.
You have no revenue. You have no revenue, dude.
Yeah.
They milk us every chance they get,
because
no matter what.
Jobs.
Everywhere we go, it's that Beatles song, dude.
Because it's a job, not
nickel and dime.
Tax man.
Sorry. Yeah.
If you get too tired, we'll tax your feet.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, the tax man. Stevie Ray Vaughan does a cover of that song too. Really good.
Oh man!
All right, so we got.
What about Gonzo's? He was a teen. He was just pointing his finger, and the cops had him all up against the wall.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not even going to get into that argument because I know what police officers true, like real people. I'm not talking about what badge you wear, who you're actually representing. I'm talking about the fellow. There's plenty of police officers and peace officers that are like that.
Right.
They're in law enforcement. I know there are, but there are a lot of fucking knuckleheads, a lot more than there should be, that don't know how to de-escalate a situation or haven't done the training to do that. Right. And that is like teaching them psychological.
Hold on.
How to do it psychologically.
Now you mentioned the training. The training is important as well, because what launched this entire BLM bullshit was some fucking drug addict who was trying to pass off a forged $20 bill, right? The problem is that the training for neutralizing an adversary was a bit much.
Right.
That cop, being a fucking dickhead that he is, and he's got no problem doing the shit that he does, because fuck them, they're all scum. I can do whatever.
Because too many get into it for like revenge.
But
they were
he
on
went through training. He did everything that he was trained specifically to do. The training itself is the fucking problem as well.
Yes. And it like inadvertently teaches you certain things that should be just. I know it's fucking crazy. It's a system fighting for a system. That's what I'm saying. There are certain things within the training, within the way it works. When you can realize that the system that we've been living in for so long, the one that we believe is real, is really only being held up because we think it's real. We have to do certain things, and we just stop doing those things. Like we do our own things.
I stopped doing the masters in economics when I figured out that economics wasn't mathematical. It wasn't something that you can predict and plan out. I realized
it's a pump and dump, bro.
Right?
No. Hold
Whatever
on.
people have faith in.
All economics is emotional. Either you trust, believe, have faith, and move forward and invest in, or you're reticent. You are fearful of the future. You hold your money back. Those emotional states can be manipulated by.
That's what we run on, dude. We run on our consciousness, dude.
So what they do is they just pump in good news to make you spend your money, and then whenever they want things to contract, they fill up all kinds of bad news. Like they shut down.
They are keeping us in an emotional state.
One of the largest economies in the history of the planet was shut down 2 years ago, And it was all of psychological pretext.
Yep. It always is. It always, well, 2008 wasn't. That was, but it was. It started with psychological pretext because people weren't using their brains and thinking, "Hey, I can't afford.
I really can't afford.
I can't afford 3 fucking houses, dude, in a condo."
People, no. The ones who did it were the ones who said, "I could never afford this before, but look at this 4-point interest."
Now I can. Yeah.
And those are the people that never read the contracts because they're not people that are used to actually doing shit. And so they didn't realize that, in 3.5 years or 4 years, it's going to bump up to 12% because fuck you, we need our money. And then people lost their shit, or they'd figure, I can flip this house. I can flip this house. I couldn't flip it. Whoops. And you're stuck and you're broke. And all of a sudden you're living out on the street. So, people, they don't read the fine print, and always make sure you know what you're getting into before you sign on the bottom line, because those motherfuckers will catch you.
I don't care who you're working with, right? Yeah.
They don't care.
Right.
The bank took my house when I was 8 years old. I have not trusted those motherfuckers ever since.
Yeah, I've lost homes with my mother as well. And I've lost many other things to other things throughout my life.
Yeah, it's, and that's the whole thing, is people need to understand that that's how our flow of everything works, is like this.
Trust.
It's like this, down, and then it goes up, and it is confidence. But I think it can stay more like this, or on the higher end, and just slower like this, if we actually had good leadership running our financial institutions. Or, I want to be able to have, but I mean, we could keep the currency we have and still just be fucking honest and live up to our fucking debt. We're not going to be there because we're going to crash, because it goes like this. We bubble up. Everybody's feeling really good. And, that cocaine at the party, nobody wants to leave. And then it goes boom. And it's just the way it works. Yeah. Like the pendulum swing.
But it doesn't have
Mom is waving the pendulum or swinging it.
They do that for a specific purpose. Because they want to manipulate things, because they catch it low and they sell it when it's high, and they know when it's going to be high because they manipulate the whole damn thing, and they have the entire time. For example, the majority of the English industry was taken over by a family by lying and having quicker messengers than the other ones after Waterloo. They went back and said, Napoleon won at Waterloo. Oh, shit, we got to sell all our stuff. Yeah, I'll buy it from you. Cheap, though. Sold it off cheap. Bought it all cheap. And then they go, oh, guess what? Napoleon lost. And everybody's like, what? Holy shit, I got to get my stuff back. Too late, motherfucker. It's mine now. So they did that 200 years ago, and they continue to do the same damn thing over and over and over again. They play us, they lie to us, they take advantage because they know what we're going to react once we figure out the lie, and they're always trying to be 2-3 steps ahead.
They know how a human being works. And unless you're truly connected and truly in alignment with yourself, you truly think for yourself.
And know what's going on and read the fine print and pay attention. And that's what Mike was just talking about. Right. Is, the fine print is important. You need to be able to, if you don't read it, you will get screwed. Just like we do when we sign up for any social network. We're giving up our information. That we're just
but
straight
if I
up.
know that,
and that's what we're talking about. Being tricked into giving your consent. Yes. Being tricked into giving your consent to do the things to do the evil, because it wouldn't work without our consent.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
if we're ignorant to it, which I've been ignorant to things many times, and will continue.
But the reason we're
but it's something we need to be watching.
We have no time to pay attention to this. Right. That's why we hire other people to pay attention to it for us. But see, if you hire somebody to do a job, you need to have an idea of what job you want them to do, and you need to keep supervising them to tell them, look, dude, I told you to dig that ditch yesterday. I told you to lay the pipes day before yesterday. I told you to do the other thing. Why haven't any of these things done? You're fired. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And you're paying me back pay for all the pay that I gave you that you didn't work for shit. Okay, that's generally how a boss would do things. We don't. We just go, oh, you've got a project. Okay, and we sign on the bottom, and 2 years later, we might look at it, but we only pay attention 4 years whenever it's national scale.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. And in the meantime, they just lie to us to get those votes, and then later on, they do whatever the hell they want to. regardless.
Yeah.
Because we don't pay
Well,
attention.
yeah, they
Because
lied
we're too busy.
to get the
We're
votes
too
when
busy with
people
our
are
lives
voting.
running around. We never pay attention.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I swear to God,
Popularity
I was
contest.
telling
Think about
everybody
high school. It's the
what
same
I
fucking
think,
thing.
what I would
Same
love to
setup.
have happen, but would never actually happen. But what I would love to have happen for the world's people, the people of the world, to just sit back and do nothing. Don't you pay those bills. Just be. You be. And don't give authority to anybody. See what actually happens
It
when
will give you power shut off.
everybody does it. But if I know what I'm doing and I know how to generate my own power and I'm on solar or I know
Yes,
what I'm
and
doing.
that's why we're talking about getting off grid, though. That's you can't say fuck you until you put yourself in a fuck you place.
I mean, I
where
guess
you can,
that's true.
in a position that
I
you
still
can
feel
do
like
that.
enough of us said fuck
You can't, and that's the whole thing. Like right now, we are slaves to the power. We are slaves to the gas. We are slaves to all of that. And we will still be, not slaves, but we'll still be dependent upon those, which in turn kind of does make you slave for it. But anyway, I digress. Let's see here. I had a question here. She said, "What?" Jen Gilly Esparza said, "What?" She was talking shit, but she said, "What came first, the chicken or the egg?" You know what? Everything starts with a seed.
Yes.
That's my answer on
it. The bird that hatched a chicken wasn't a chicken, but the genetic mutation inside that bird was the chicken. So in that case, it was the egg. So who gave birth to the egg? It wasn't a chicken. It was a chicken-like
and
animal.
Where's the egg?
That's necessarily a chicken.
Yep. Thought came, then spirit came, and then thought and spirit got together, and they created the son or the daughter.
There you go. But chat's going nuts. Anyway, what I wanted to get back to was all the distractions that they're trying to cause for us, which is what we were doing. We haven't been paying attention to what these people are. We're not being good bosses. If you're a boss, you got to run your business. Okay, and our country is our business.
Right.
You don't pay, but it starts at the community level. It starts at your local school board. It starts at your local mayoral elections. It includes your city council. It includes the motherfuckers running for sheriff. Make sure that guy knows you and goes, "Yo, dude, just chill." All right? Because usually if they know you, they won't shoot you. They might if you're a dick. But
well, and it's like building community. Even to build community is to look at yourself and understand your shortcomings and understand that you need to speak up when you do see something. It's like being at a job. Like I'm in a construction job, right? They use a lot of saws. They use tools that can really hurt you. Now, if you're trained by somebody or you see somebody doing something that's very dangerous, you speak up about it. You know, you don't need to be a rat. You can speak straight to them. Speak straight to the people that are doing this dumb shit, or yourself, and don't do it yourself. That's really where it starts. Is like not ratting on people. You're not going to be a Karen. You're not going to be a rat.
Bring it up.
You're just saying, hey, sitting somebody down and saying, okay, this is my perception on it. You don't have to fucking agree on everything together, but being able to coexist and look at yourselves.
But that's actually biblical, Aaron, because one of the things that they were talking that is written is, look, if you've got a complaint, you see somebody's doing something wrong, don't go out there shouting to everybody, look at this asshole, he's sawing the thing wrong and he's gonna burn off his fingers and oh my god, we're all gonna fucking die because he's an idiot. No, it's the worst thing you do, and that's what they're doing in society today. Those are the Karens. They love to take a picture and yell at everybody else.
There's a difference between a whistleblower and somebody who's blowing the whistle and somebody who's just being a Karen.
But what the good book tells us, you go up to that individual, just like you said. You go, yo, dude, I think you're going to have a problem with your finger in a little while. If you keep doing it that way, I recommend you kind of do it this other way. Just bring it. You do you, I do me. That's how I would do it. But
right.
Just say, hey, I
do stupid shit that might actually hurt somebody else. Then you go to 2 or 3 people and you bring them to them. And then in a group, you try and, yo, dude, we've all been doing it this way. And, we all got our 10 fingers.
You're still struggling.
We've seen people, end up with like 4 fingers. And so if you would like to continue with your fingers, we suggest that we as a group would suggest that you stop doing that.
It's like this, dude. It's like this. I was working with my dad. That's why I thought about the example is one time I was working with my dad. I think I was like in my early 20s. So I didn't know much. I mean, I'd learned a few things from my dad, carpentry wise, and build as a builder. But we were doing siding on a house, and he wanted me to help him. I'd never done it before, so he's up on the ladder, and I could just see, even not even knowing much about what I was doing, really not knowing shit. I could see that he was putting it up wrong just by looking at like everything else. I'm like, no, that looks off, and I just let it go because I was like, yeah, I let it go because I'm like, okay, my dad knows what he's doing, so I'm not gonna fucking say anything. Well, and I think later on he did this. I did this a couple more times, but anyway, this was the first time it happened. And then as he gets some down, I just let it go. Kept cutting for him. He's like, God damn it, why I put this shit up wrong, like backwards. He's like, why didn't you tell me? Because I thought you knew what the hell you were doing. And that's the whole thing. Use your common sense.
Yeah.
You feel like you need to speak up in a certain situation that's saving people's lives, or try to, helping other people, and not,
Think about it this way. You're
stopping people from danger.
Think about it this way. You're sitting there at the bottom of that ladder, and you go, hey, Dad, I think something's wrong. It doesn't look the way it's supposed to, but that's just me. You do what you're doing, but it just doesn't look right. And that's it.
It's hard though. It's hard though when they're
experts. Go back and tell you, shut up, you little kid. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm going to keep doing it my way. Fine.
Yep.
And not only was this his boss, this was like an expert, and it was his dad, right?
So of course it was like my hero,
I'm just gonna.
He's got it all. I mean, he's a god, dude. He's got it figured out.
And that's just it. And that's the whole thing I was talking about earlier.
We all make mistakes.
That role and putting too much emphasis and giving too much to these ideas, right? Understanding them and honoring them, obviously, but not giving them our power.
Have a good night, Erica. Thanks for stopping by and watching.
The power it has to be granted. People end up giving it away. That's the whole thing. Because nobody can force you to do something unless they've got a collar around you and a foot on your back. Yep. And then the cattle prod, shocking you if you don't go.
Yep.
Nobody's really doing that. Okay, so whenever you do things, you have to give people control. Otherwise, you are a free and sovereign individual.
That's right. And that's the thing.
But they make you think you're not because they want the power.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think if enough of us, like I was saying earlier, I mean, I know it's not like totally realistic, but if all of us just didn't do nothing and we were willing to
You're on the right track, but I think there's more to it.
If
every more strategy in there.
Well, yes, obviously. I'm using a basic baseline idea of something. If everyone just was really willing to pay the consequences, I'm willing to go to jail for not paying my power because I feel like power's free. And like over 90% of the population was doing that. Do you think they charge that much for power? You know what I mean? It's those types of things.
Power.
You just won't get any power. I mean, you can obviously.
No, in this world today, you're right. I know. That's what I said.
Hold on. You're on the right track, but the idea is do not comply. And how do you not comply? You don't participate. You're not bitching about how much the power company is charging you for the electricity. You produce your own fucking electricity.
Right.
Let them gouge somebody else.
That's basically what I am trying to say. Yes.
You exit and build.
Yep.
You exit and build. That's what we're talking about right now. Exit and build. There is a movement. Go check it out. I think it's freedomcells.com or .org. Yeah, freedomcells.org.
I think it might be org.
And they are talking. There's a lot of people on there, a lot of experts that will be showing you how
they're different experts.
How to exit, how to build, even doing it on a shoestring budget.
No,
I mean shoestring.
Easy, and it's not for everybody.
It's not.
It's going to take your time and your energy, but think about it this way. You're not spending your time and your energy helping somebody else become rich.
Right.
You're spending your time and your energy enriching yourself and your family and your friends and your community. That's it. It's really a simple thing, but we're afraid of that. We're afraid to pioneer. I mean, we are in the age of the neo-pioneers, dude.
That's right.
We're pioneering more land. We're pioneering more development the natural way, not because it's forced, because people think they have money and they're playing with a little
we see
board
what's
game.
Actually there and what we can utilize, and we're utilizing it. We're using our own brains and our own smarts to correct the wrongs happening, right? A lot of our environment is being fucked with, y'all. Like, I mean, there's environmental shit happening But that's a lot because people know certain things and they kind of fuck with the environment. It's knowing you knows your space, knows your neighborhood, knows your right. If you are truly in a place where you don't want to participate anymore and you can step out and be independent, that does nothing but bring more people more independence.
And you have to want it. Like if you want to be if you want that life, which some people do, that's
and
okay.
They do, and yes.
Their path. Like their path. If they want to live under that system and continue to be abused and continue to be enslaved by their propaganda, just in the mind, because that's the worst place to be enslaved.
Yes.
I can be physically locked up, but if my mind is imprisoned, I'm really fucked. So that's what we're talking about. Really freeing that mind, freeing your mind from into slavery. You know, some Bob Marley, dude. He spoke the truth, man. Yeah, and that's really, it's so simple, but we make it harder than it is.
We really do. We've given up so much of ourselves, so much power.
We have, because we wanted the comfort of having somebody else be able to take care of the complicated things. To where we would only focus on that little sliver of information that we could actually get good at, and we could be that little cog in the system, and the whole system would help us all out because the system's there for everybody. But it's not. It's only there for a few that are concentrating power. And over the last couple of years, we've seen where that power was concentrated. And I'm thinking, a French 1789 moment is around the corner, if you know what I mean.
No, it's a fucking 2025 moment, dude. No, I don't know why I said that date, but that's where it is. This is a new moment. Yes, it's a cycle. We're doing it much differently this time.
Do you know what happened in 1789? It was a French Revolution.
1789.
French Revolution.
With
it was also the year our Constitution was written.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But we're doing something differently this time. Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to avoid that, which is why they released. I'm not going to say that. That'll get us taken down. But they did things to make sure that we vote the way that we used to. And that's why the guy up in Buffalo did what he did, because they sure as hell don't want us revolting like we did 10 years before that, which was the American independence. So it was all.
And that guy? Hey, I just found out this week, dude. I got to stop before I put this. This is important. That guy that shot up that place was connected to the Azov battalion, dude.
No,
Azov battalion from Ukraine. But we didn't mention it. That's what I'm saying. I felt like we had to mention it to
because
people that
we're funding Ukraine,
get to see that.
Well, hold on. Didn't we just send a bunch of weapons and $40 billion to help?
Yeah, dude.
Because we're claiming it's
I'm just saying we're in PSYOP land, dude. We live in PSYOP land right now.
It's like giving Iran a bunch of money, and then all of a sudden the state of whatever happened over there, and then Syria started going,
right.
All kinds of dodos, so you give them extra money and they invest it into the PSYOPs that they want to do. And so the guy being from I did not know that the guy was from Azov, but it makes complete fucking sense because they're the ones,
and he connects directly, dude. He connects directly to that guy from fucking Christchurch. There's similar things. They said he copied him. No, this is a PSYOP to let you know, like, they're terrorists, but they're also funding those terrorists in Ukraine. Like,
absolutely.
Just if whoever we're funding, just know they are the bad guys.
Like, here's the thing: how many of us know where our dollars are actually going? I mean, taxation really is.
Well, we know where they're going. We're talking about it right now.
What I'm saying is, how many of us sign up that bill and say, "I'm going to put this dollar to this thing. I'm going to put this dollar to this thing. I'm putting this dollar to this thing," because we made a choice as to where we decided our taxes should go. Or how many of us just pay those taxes and whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen? It's relinquishing a part of yourself, right? They draw our permission from all aspects. You may believe in taxation because it does things.
They manipulate us into compliance.
Yes.
Babies and incubators, dude. Remember that in Iraq War?
Bullshit.
Babies and incubators, and they even brought an Iraqi girl on to act that shit out. She was an actress.
Yep.
Remember the vial that fucking Colin Powell was holding, dude? Fuck. We all got I got fooled by that, dude. I was fooled by that.
Here's the thing: the more I feel about something, the more I'm like, oh my god. The more I look at it deeply, really, because I felt for things like for a minute in a lot of ways. Especially, like fucking 9/11 right there near the Olympics here in Utah. It was a big thing for everybody. And I jumped on it for a minute. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. And then the more I kind of looked at things, I'm going, this is weird. Okay. So this is going to be what's happening now, right? And the more you kind of allow yourself to, even if you think you're being weird, you don't have to think like everybody else. Think it and feel it the way you do and go with it, right? Understand that you're thinking opposite of everybody else. Everyone's very deeply traumatized. I mean, everyone's traumatized. I'm sorry, in one way or another. We all got traumatized because real people did die. Real things did fucking happen. But when you can logically and realistically separate yourself from those emotions, from those things that happened, and look at the environment around it, right? Much like when you fall into a depression. Okay, hang on, what's happening around me right now? And you can start to understand your cycles, right?
But people usually
what is
don't
it that's
pay
bringing
that
me
much
into this
attention to it.
place?
People don't even know. They're just caught off guard. They have no clue what's happening.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
They need it.
They do that on purpose. Yes.
Yep.
But the fluoride
they do that on purpose.
Good conversation, dude. We're getting deep today. That's awesome.
When do I not?
But that's the importance about knowing yourself, though.
Good job.
Like,
Thank you, Mike. Fuck, we're like blending. Now we're starting to, like, you see, we got these shows like by ourselves together. Have to go nowhere to go, but like true philosophy, dude. That's fucking awesome.
I love philosophy because really, I mean, that is life.
Philosophy and conspiracy theories, because I always love me a good conspiracy theory.
I mean, aren't they the same? Aren't they the same thing, dude? Isn't a philosophy just a theory?
No. There are philosophical discussions around certain conspiracy theories, and many conspiracy theories are based on certain ideologies, which are philosophically based.
Right.
But that is not the same thing
I'm
as
seeing
philosophy.
Your differentiation in the words. Okay, I get it. Okay. I'm with you.
All right, teacher.
It's kind of the
Put me
Ivy
in detention after school, bro. All right, I get it.
It's the Ivy League thing in me. There's, I was an academic decathlon and all this kind of shit, and so the specificity and getting shit right was
that's important. The nuance to all of it.
You don't want to take too much into.
But really, conspiracy theory is the major philosophy, right?
Yes.
Conspiracy theory was actually a phrase invented by the CIA to make people.
Yes, that's
nobody
true.
on the Grassy Mall. It was a guy in a school book depository, did everything. Shut up and eat your bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what we should call it is straight truth.
That would
like,
be
sorry, you don't want to hear it, but it's fucking straight truth.
Let's discuss this truth here. This thing happened, no matter what. Let's discuss what we all know about the aspects of how this thing happened. Isn't that any religion? But you're supposed to be able to go with it and listen with it and grow new.
I don't know. I don't know where we're going here, but we should wrap it up because I want to.
Well, where I was going is that it's always you should always leave yourself open.
We're still good.
Which is why philosophy is a much better way to do it. And you know what I mean?
We have 8 people watching.
It tells you to follow that idea, whereas philosophy tells you to grow from what you're knowing, what you know, what you learn, and as you grow,
or your
you
take
learn
on things, your look at things, and your knowledge that you've learned along the way, your wisdom.
Yes.
Oh shit! Okay, I thought he was frozen. You look frozen sometimes, and I'm like, shit, did we freeze again?
Sometimes my brain farts.
You're thinking.
Distractions and that sort of thing. However, we are induced to certain thought processes that aren't necessarily conducive to a sustained perpetuation of the species.
Right.
I love beer and cigarettes, loud music, and all this kind of shit, which in the end isn't necessarily constructive. And all the things that I was, by society that my grandparents told me were good things, like working your ass off, waking up early,
Yep.
studying hard,
Right.
and doing the shit that you're supposed to do. Oh, that's boring stuff. Fucking squares. I'm not going to do that. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, dude. Woohoo. And well, here I am. 35
Well,
years later.
here's the thing about sex,
Dude,
drugs,
you're
rock
like,
and
you
roll.
are fucking, dude, quit being so self-fucking-loathing.
Yes.
Just stop it.
When you can take
Enjoy that fucking cigarette.
drugs,
You're going to
drugs,
die a long time from now,
And you
and we're going to
can
be
mix
doing a
it
podcast
with an
40, 50 years from now, and I'm going to still make fun of you for going to the doctor
interpersonal
so
knowing.
much and getting fucking all your tests because
Right.
you're okay. You're all right,
Yeah.
kid. You're going to be fine. You stress too much about that shit. I know you're being conscious of it, and you're making positive, but don't get over worried about it,
But you're
dude.
giving too
You
much
go to
power
a
to
doctor,
the
they're
head.
just going to give you more shit to worry about. And you know this, worrying about things. I don't know why I'm pointing my finger. I want you. No. Anyway, but you know that the mind is everything. The mind and your body heals itself if you want it to.
It does.
If you want to back off and say, I'm done with cigarettes because I want this to replenish. Or I'm done drinking because I want this to replenish. And I know it can because my body is very strong. It's very resilient. That's why humans have lived through many catastrophes.
And I think that
At
when
least
you start to come to a place that you understand why you like those things, you will start to allow yourself to partake when you like it, as opposed to just nonchalantly, non-thinking, participate and being addicted. You know what I mean? That's what makes an addiction an addiction. You're not thinking about it anymore. You're just doing whatever you can to get it, right? Your life is it. When you understand and realize that, hey, you know what? I actually really like this thing, but maybe I'm partaking too much. My body's going, okay, hey, buddy, I love it too, but like, chill. We can learn to chill. We don't have to sit there and like be
I
so
learned how to chill was by getting stoned, and that was also exaggerated. I'm too uptight. I'm really tightly wound.
Yeah, you're not, but you are. You gotta you feel all that pressure in your shoulders, dude. Remember when weed used to take that away? Now you got to do it yourself.
Yes.
I mean, if you need to use a little weed or a little cannabis, that's fine. But you got to be able to let that pressure. I can see it right now. Like mine almost go too low sometimes. I'm like,
I get too relaxed as well.
Fucking chilling. You know, you got to get like something. You got to get to that fucking place, man.
Well,
like, come on, dude. You're right there.
I did, but at that point, I didn't actually do anything. And life.
No, you can still do things because you can give yourself enough time to relax, have some clarity, and figure out what you're going to do in the most effective way. At least that's how I do it. I mean, I haven't, like, there's plenty to do around here, but
and we get
partly
stressed,
I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to do something that he's, but I've asked if he wants help. But really sit and think to give myself like 5-10 minutes of like, fuck you time, like release, and just let it all go. Who cares what I think is right? It doesn't matter. Let it go and give it a minute. And that inspiration, once you reset that mind,
how do I work within?
Yeah, you don't need to fuck. I fucking had. Ask her, dude. I've had literal panic attacks, dude, where I was like frozen, like that much fucking tension. And I've been getting close to that somewhat lately, but not where I was. And it's when we live in our fucking mind too much and we don't just let it all go for a minute.
You allow expectation, and you allow.
That's partly why I want to be in the desert, because that's a grounding force.
Yeah, and he does need to ground. He does.
But it's not a grounding force like I want to sit in the mud. It's a grounding force like, let's put our body through pressure, a little bit of pressure, and open us up to new horizons.
Did you watch my story today on my trees dancing in the wind?
No, dude. I'm gonna go watch it.
I started to. I don't
check
remember
out Penny Perspective. Go watch his video.
Dude, I love it.
Give him a like.
It's on my Facebook profile anyway. But what it was is that's the grounding thing. And I came here trying to get away from all the stuff that we're talking about right now because I saw it a long time ago. But when I came down here, there are lots of other problems that exist down here, and the control issues. Right. Remember, the one world government is a one world government.
Yep.
Yes.
There's
all over the world, man.
From it. I tried to run away from it as far as I fucking could.
All it is just leaving a clique. You're just leaving the popular clique. That's right. All you're doing.
You're running with the wolves. You say this pack is not working no more.
The only way to truly get away from it is like we were talking about before, creating those vacuums, creating those communities in those areas where we do not depend on them and we do not have to kneel in order to get our water, get our electricity, get our food, in order to survive. Now, if we want to have that nice car and then we want to have that huge house and we want to have that boat and that pool and that vacation to Disney or whatever the hell, then you're going to have to dance like a little monkey because that's what they're going to do in order for you to have the things the world tells you.
Yes.
But if you can learn to survive on other things, then you don't need to be part of the system. You don't need to be dancing.
Well, you actually learn that you can survive on things that you didn't even fucking think about.
Right.
You're like, because that kind of situation puts you in that place. Like, I'm under a canopy right next to my Suburban, which is a camper. But you know what? Do you think that I feel any fucking less? I am more happy now. That's why, I have sometimes
you're happy because you're free.
I'm
you don't
more
have
free.
Stressors.
Right, I'm more free, but I have different stressors. You have different stressors. But the thing is,
never accept the stressors, but the ones that are.
And it's on your fucking terms. That's the thing. If I'm going to stress, it's going to be because of me, not because somebody else put that shit on me.
Yes.
Which, not to say that they're not going to keep. People aren't going to try because they will, and you will still deal with stress from other people, no matter how fucking far in the woods you go,
but when you can,
or the desert you go, you're still going to deal with adversity. But that's part of, what we're talking about right now is look how fucking much darkness has came over the land.
Right.
As that is out of balance. Like you can't fight all of that. What you can do is you can fucking fall back. You can reset. You can build up your fucking structure or your kingdom and say, you know what? I'm not going to fuck with anybody. I'm going to have my kingdom, but if somebody fucks with me, I have the defenses or I have the structures and the systems going that, the systematic shit isn't going to get to me. Not even 95% of the systematic shit is gone.
No matter how much space we have, we want to make it as self-sustainable as possible.
Yeah.
Like we want whatever systems are going to work to make this.
Hey, bro, have a smoke on me, homie.
Natural.
This is number 8
Come on,
of the day.
Oh, he's smoking it. Have you lit? I didn't think you lit it.
No, I just did. This is number 8 of the day. So
not bad, dude. Not bad.
Quit counting.
I used to stop counting.
No. The counting. I feel
like you're kind of tough like me.
You'll know when you're smoking too much.
Like,
No, I know that the problem is I know that
hold on, let him talk. Go ahead, dude. Sorry, go ahead.
Next day, because whenever I exaggerate, I feel it the next day, and I'm unable. So the thing about counting is because the counts keep getting. I try and get them lower, but they've been around. For example, this one was. If you can see 3 days count on there, there were 15 on the first.
Well, you're a high elevation born, and you're down in the jungle right now too, dude. You're high elevation born. Remember that plays a part.
There were 8, but it's too late. There were 8.
I mean, not to say that cigarettes aren't aggravating it, but you are like you can live on very little oxygen, or you were born into that, and now you're into this thick fucking oxygen. I'm telling you, I'm experiencing the same thing.
Living in Mexico City is like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes just from the smog of the city. And so there are certain things that Mexico City lungs develop. They develop the ability to deal with all that stuff. So there are some, but still, it's been 35 years of abuse. Norma, please.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just saying that's the whole thing is the way they've convinced us that these contrails are just whatever comes out of planes because that's just what happened. But they'll admit to you in other paperwork that they're putting particles in the fucking air, dude. They're putting things in our air. They're putting things.
There's
in
more
water.
to it than
what we're doing.
But smoking is, I get it. But tobacco was what founded this fucking country. It really was. Not to say that I still hold it sacred.
Smoking anything.
I still hold it sacred, but I disrespect it by smoking it so much.
Yes.
Well, see, the thing is, if you held it
and
sacred,
not smoking it through a pipe, which is fucking really dirty, dude.
If you really respected it, then you would actually go back to the origins and actually smoke the tobacco itself. These industrialized things,
or chew it.
Yeah.
No, I chew it. But it's also industrialized. So neither one of those two are necessarily beneficial. The less industrial you have things, the better they end up being.
The more natural, the more organic it comes. Yes.
The more difficult it is to prepare. I mean, to roll your own cigarette is a pain in the fucking ass. All right, and you definitely
that's what I do. I still smoke.
And you definitely can't smoke 2 packs a day by rolling your own cigarettes. You got no time for that. It's 40 fucking cigarettes.
Oh yes, you can. I'm here to tell you. because I roll them, and they only take me 15 minutes to roll.
Right.
But wait, we smoke? No, we smoke a pack a day because I roll 2 packs of cigarettes every day, and we share what I roll. So or stuff. It's more like stuffing or injecting because there's a filter.
Okay. So yeah, but
this is look at this, dude, right here. Like, remember the people
You would
back
think
at
about it in the store.
our old school parents
We made it.
or grandparents. This was how you had conversations, dude. You had to smoke, you had to drink.
That's the way I was.
There's some things from my ancestors that I think still, dude. I had great grandparents or my step grandparents lived a long time, dude. They lived. I mean, they got dementia, they got into that shit, but they got older. But they drank, dude. I'm telling you, they fucking drank like
fish,
half a gallon each before they went to bed, dude.
I think.
I mean, really, they were from Riverside, just right here. I think it's east of us. Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's the way that I was brought up. The Mexican families.
But they didn't think, because in your mind you're gonna die from it, dude. And yes, you should. There are certain information out there in science that tells you.
And
I've got uncles and aunts with diabetes that have lost legs and everything else. I've had uncles that died of alcoholism because
you're only pre-diabetic. Dude. Yeah. Don't worry, you're good.
Okay, look.
Pre, dude. I'm pre fucking dinner, dude. Like what? Like shut up. I'm pre going to bed tonight.
I was born with what did they say? It was a 95%
fucking
chance of
get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
However,
okay, there's some family history.
She's been misdiagnosed so many times, dude, with doctors. I don't trust any fucking institution anymore, dude. I don't trust any of them. I don't trust, because there's been so many documentaries made and campaigns made for certain things that need to go here and there and here. Who the fuck knows, dude? We could be dying of something else and not even know that that's what it is. But what they connected it to because of a campaign or protecting themselves and diverting it or projecting it onto somebody else. If you don't see the projection, the amount of projection that's going on right now, tell me that shit doesn't go on and hasn't gone on all through our lives.
Well, yeah. The part of the programming was where when I was on the farm in Oklahoma, there's no fun on the farm.
Terry Bells.
But when I was in Mexico City visiting large family and everything else, the family would get around. They would either have rum and coke or tequila, or they would have something else like water, sparkling water, some shit to drink. Right. Everybody was sitting around the living room table, that coffee table, and all the drinks were on the coffee table, and everybody was sitting back on the sofa smoking a cigarette. The entire living room was filled with smoke. Kids running around and everything else. And that's the environment that I grew up in. And I was like, these people are having fun. They're telling jokes. They're enjoying themselves. They're enjoying each other's company. And that's what I associated it to. So even though my dad doesn't smoke, and my dad really doesn't drink that much in the social occasions, my mom doesn't drink or smoke, but I had to be the black sheep of the family. And so I did both excessively. So yeah, there's a point where the bill comes due, and that's where I'm at right now.
Of course, dude. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, I think we're getting to, if we don't think that,
my great grandmother,
if we don't think that there's the hubbub, if we don't think that we've been lied to from everything else that comes on mainstream TV, and even down to doctors, if you haven't seen that put fucking people on respirators or ventilators and fucking killed them, no problem. Boom, just like that. Let's just do it. Like, really, you don't think the doctors are dumb in a certain commonsensical kind of way? And they follow the fucking procedure and they follow the book? They're following a religion too. Now, they don't heal us. They help us heal faster. Yeah. That's it. That's what a doctor does. They diagnose. They help us heal faster. They do not. They're not a mechanic. They don't go in there and fucking and fix it completely.
Surgeons
our body is the one that heals it. So you're saying I'm smoking 3 cigarettes in a day? I'm sorry. I'm going to finish. Yes, that is a healthy choice. However, I'm just saying everything is subjective, dude. Especially, I'm not saying go out there and just be completely crazy. But I know what I am. I know what my problems are and my issues. I don't go to the doctor, dude. I haven't been to the doctor in I went once for my knee, and I was in an accident. So I went to the doctor to have it looked at. I didn't have surgery on it. He gave me like 15 Lortabs, made me feel better with it because I had a swollen knee, right?
That was really bad.
But I think I've been to the doctor like 3 times in my life.
You have to understand that the doctors aren't actually there to heal you. Otherwise, they won't make a profit. Pharma won't make a profit.
They're there to consult you, dude. Yes. Consult you, and they do have a profit margin there. And a profit.
They're also there to give you something to No, they just take care of the symptoms, not the cause.
Right.
So you're
But
constantly
you're
coming back with more meds.
you're really just a lab rat because they're just
Yeah,
kind of guessing. Like, I've learned the anatomy, I've learned how to do this, I've learned the whatever they're specializing in. They have spent a lot of time in the science.
but they've
However,
also been programmed in that. And
that shit
the
was
science is
created
going to
by
be.
the fucking Rockefeller Society, dude. That shit was created. Like, so how much can we believe? Like, start thinking for your fucking self.
How many
If you feel like you
cures?
can't breathe, and it's probably because of smoking, because you thought about it last night. I smoked a
Yeah.
lot more, so, and I felt like shit. So that's probably what's making me feel like shit. Get rid of it. Or, okay, I have allergies and I'm really fucking sneezing. Why am I doing this? This could turn into an infection, which is a sinus infection, which could turn into a cold, which could turn into a flu, which could turn into pneumonia, right? So let me stop that by taking some allergy pills, or maybe not going outside when the trees are blooming. So, like,
Well, I didn't have
there's a
much of
whole,
I didn't have much of an
yeah, Kathy
option.
said,
I had to.
practicing medicine.
They're just practicing. They're testing out.
Yes.
That reminds me of a joke
Right.
that I want to tell.
Aren't
This
we all?
mechanic goes up to the doctor and goes, "Look, I'm a mechanic, and I take out the engine of a car and I fix it up and I make it run. And you're basically doing the same thing, but you get paid so much more than I do." And the doctor looks at the mechanic and says, "Yeah, try fixing the motor when it's still running.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different." So yeah, they're a little bit more
But
than
most, dude,
mechanics.
that's a cocky thing. That
That's
sounds like a
really kind of
cocky
cocky.
doctor's thing. Like,
Yeah.
I bring people back to life. No, that person brings themselves back to life because they're not ready.
They're not ready
And
yet.
if you want to talk about the good book, they talk about the other side. They talk about how you have that consciousness, and you come down here. I mean, there's certain things I don't believe, but they do talk about the afterlife, which is something I believe in and something I've seen and experienced for myself. So understanding that and understanding what we talked about earlier, which is what we put out there and what we actually, quantum physics has already proven this. We actually, whatever we're looking at, we affect. So the
Yep.
observer always affects
Yes.
whatever it's observing.
If there is
They've
no
already,
observer,
that's what I'm saying. So now, again, consent to vote for somebody, or have like a loyalty for somebody. Consent to my good health, or you bringing more bad health to me. There's a lot in that projection. We project
I
and
put
we
my
create.
health in your
Just like me
hands.
right now talking to you, I am actually affecting that. Just like you talking to me, you're affecting me. People in the chat, they're affecting our realities.
I'd like
This
to
is
get
that
into
conscious thing. And that's what I'm saying
there's
is I think we need to go above a lot of that shit, because we're relying, a lot of us, not us, but a lot of us are relying on somebody else to tell us how we're feeling good. Now, if we have an emergency, yes, go to the doctor. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. If you have an emergency, go to a
I'm
doctor. They're
preaching. I'm
there for a
preaching,
reason.
bro.
They're
Yeah.
there for a reason, and they have certain
Yeah.
training that we
Right.
don't all necessarily have. However, as somebody
Right.
else was mentioning, yeah, we go to a doctor when we need to, and yeah, if I hadn't have found out the things that I found out, and I went to the doctor because I couldn't fucking breathe, and I wanted an answer,
Yeah.
and his answer was
But
basically,
you
I don't
knew
have an
why, dude.
answer.
You knew why, though. You knew
I
why
knew
before
why.
you went there. You just had to get
I know.
confirmation.
It was the fucking dengue, but the doctor told me I don't have an answer for you, and that was the biggest
Right.
thing. The Druids and the Wiccans on Earth Day chat really helped me out. And whenever I told the doctor, but I'm taking these teas and this essence oil and that sort of stuff, and he told me, oh, those don't do any good. And I'm thinking, pharma, that's all it is. Everything in big
Right.
pharma comes from nature, but they can't
Yep.
patent.
All right, we should
They
end it
can't
on the
patent.
Chihuahuas barking. It's been an hour and 38 minutes. Dinner's on the
True.
table. This was a great conversation. Mike, where
There
can
you
people
go.
find you? Let them know.
Opinion perspective. I've been keeping my head down. I'm not publishing anything on there right now because we're heading through a hack zone. There are many things that are going to be going down over the next couple of weeks, and I'm just being careful because they're trying to take down as many people as they will. And as soon as the ship blows over and everything else, then if I've actually got content and stuff, I'll start putting it on there. But hey, I've got like more than 50 or 80 episodes that I've got up on there. So if you want to watch much historical shit. I started from 2 years ago. So yeah, I've got plenty of stuff on there. I've also got music, and there's also videos associated on my channel too, things for my book, videos that have inspired me. So there's lots of stuff on my channel, Benya Perspective at YouTube, if you guys want to check it out. Absolutely. Go for it.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
And Mystic Norm, she was not here, but Mystic Norm's Wellness and Weddings. Check her out. She's on Facebook. She's on YouTube. Me, Aaron Fowler, Psychic Shaman. Actually, www.psychicshaman333.com. That's how you can find me. I am a psychic practitioner. I practice, and that's that's it.
And
there's good ones. There's plenty of good doctors, but I think there's a lot of doctors that work on drone mode, and I think there's a lot more that work on drone mode than there do that actually use their fucking brain. So just like everybody else, every other profession.
But it's like somebody else was mentioning in the chat. The doctors are going to give you their opinion. It depends on whether or not you follow their opinion or not. For example, I'm going to go to another doctor for a second opinion. Okay, and depending on both theirs, and I've got the test results right in front of me. So I'm also using my own knowledge and my own opinion. And I personally will evaluate all the different opinions and find out what's best.
So give us some time. Yeah, give us some time. And you're quitting smoking. So you're eliminating one to see if something else is doing it. So all it is time letting you know. So much love to everybody. Thank you very much. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
There was one time I was talking to a psychologist, and she told me about the meds that they were going to recommend. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't really like dealing with drug dealers. And she's like, no, these are meds. And I'm like, no, you're pushing them on me, and it's the same damn thing as being a drug dealer. She got pretty pissed off, and she dropped me a couple of weeks after that. But I wonder why. Because they're all pushing their own little thing, and we just need to be aware of that.
Yep. Much love to all of you. Thank you for being here, Terry, Allison. We had Denise Bertucci, Kathy. Let's give some shout outs here. Hold on a second. Julie Uerte. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. So if I murdered that, I'm sorry. Let's see here. Erica Kennedy. And I think that's all I'm seeing in chat. So much love to all of you. We'll see you next week. And I think next week we'll talk about transmutation. So
that will work.
Continuing the conversation, how to turn it into something good, how to take that energy and turn it into something good. So much love. We'll see y'all later, and have a good week.
I'll see you next Wednesday.
See you, brother. As soon as it